Yo, we're back. It's your boy, Mike K. Smith, back for another fight stream. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. Also, follow me on AKIS NBA. We're on all the platforms so we can talk about basketball. We can talk about the NBA. We can talk about the WNBA. We can talk about Caitlin Clark. We can talk about the Fever. We can talk about LeBron James, Boston Celtics. Anything that has to do with basketball, I'm your guy. And I appreciate y'all for rocking with your boy. Once again, it's your boy, Mike K. Smith. Make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Let's run it up. Now, we got some news today, and I'm sorry that I'm late on this news because I was outside hanging out with my family and my sister in the streets of New York, and I saw this alert several hours ago, and I knew I had to come back once I made it back home and talk about it. We have Indiana Fever news. We have news that the Indiana Fever are going to have a new head coach. This comes at no surprise. In the last stream, I talk about Caitlin Clark. I talk about Stephanie White potentially being her new head coach. And here we are. We have Steph White, who is going to be the Indiana Fever's new head basketball coach. And we know that Stephanie White was a covenant coach out of the league. In the league, a lot of teams wanted her. A lot of teams wanted her to be the next head coach for their teams and organization. But the Indiana Fever have White. They got their girl. They got their head coach. And I would say everything that's happened, everything that happens has happened before. Nothing is new under the sun. Ecclesiastics 1, that's a Bible verse. So I was not really surprised at the full circle moment when it came to Stephanie White coming back to the Indiana Fever. Because whether it's in life or it's in hoops, a lot of times nothing is new under the sun. And when full circle moments happen, it may be different types of variations, but a lot of times what's happened in the past is going to happen in the future. But the Fever have named Stephanie White their new head coach. White, we know, played for the Fever. She was assistant coach for the Indiana Fever as well. She also used to wear the number 22, the same number that Caitlin Clark wears. And she is a Indiana basketball legend. She is from Indiana. Like she is all things about Indiana. And it's nice to have like a homegrown coach that's somebody that's from the community, that knows the community, coming back to the community, and hopefully can lead the Indiana Fever to a championship. We know Stephanie White was a great basketball head coach with the Connecticut Sun the past two seasons. I mean, she had a 55-25 record with the Connecticut Suns over 2 years, reaching the semifinals each and every time in the span of those 2 years. And also, like she was the WNBA's head coach of the year. So in 2023. So White is a really, really great coach. And also she's elevated her players. We saw Alyssa Thomas have a MVP runner-up season under her. We saw DiJonai Carrington win the most improved player of the year. Like she maximizes players' talent. She helps players improve. And it's a beautiful thing to see. And now she is in a new environment, not with the Indiana community and her being from Indiana and being a former Indiana Fever head coach, but she's in a new environment because Stephanie White has had a lot of great success with having veterans on her team. This is a whole different project with the Indiana Fever because now you have a lot of young players. Indiana Fever are one of the youngest teams in the league. They have the two back-to-back number one overall picks in Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. Like when she was with the Fever, they had Tamika Catchings. When she was with the Connecticut Sun, they had Brianna Jones. They had Alyssa Thomas. They had Bonner. They had Bonner on the team. You know, they had a lot of veteran players coming on to the Indiana Fever. It's a totally different type of ball game and kind of totally different type of makeup when you compare what she's used to coaching. So that's going to be interesting to see. How does she use her expertise and her experience coming on to a young, talented Indiana Fever team? And especially when we talk about how a lot of her teams that she's been on have been very great defensive teams. And that's an area that the Indiana Fever lack. And maybe that's an area where they need to improve on. And Stephanie White is going to probably help them improve on. But does her being this kind of defensive coach or having this defensive kind of mindset and mentality, does that change from the Indiana Fever having this one of the most prolific offenses we've ever seen in the WNBA, which Christine Sides was also a part of and had success in. So a lot of people say that Sides needed to go, and I believe she needed to go for the Indiana Fever to reach their ultimate potential. But we have to give credit when credit is due, due to the fact that Sides was part of the Indiana Fever finally finding their offensive rhythm and their offensive chemistry and connection, and them being one of the best offensive teams in the league this past year. So it's going to be interesting. And then when Stephanie White was asked about the position from Malika Andrews, basically she said it was a easy decision because it's homegrown. Like she has the Indiana Fever in the state of Indiana in her DNA. And she grew up in Indiana, she played in Indiana, so and she's been part of that franchise. So this was kind of an easy decision. But when she talked about Caitlin Clark, last stream I said the biggest thing between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, because and to mention Angel Reese and mention Caitlin Clark, I know people are tired of mentioning them together, but I have to bring this up. The reason why I talked about that in my last stream, because when Stephanie White was still a free agent and deciding what coaching opportunity she was going to take, it was between the Indiana Fever and also Chicago Sky. And I thought that even though she had ties to the Indiana Fever's organization, but coming from the Connecticut Sun, where they had two big men and they had bigs, and she really maximized those bigs, I thought the Chicago Sky would have been a great move as well, due to Cardosa and also Angel Reese. But hearing what Stephanie White said about Caitlin Clark, how she's a student of the game, how she loves the game of basketball, how she loves how she's handled all the criticism and attention that she's gotten, and she wants to play and she just wants to win. When I heard that, that reminded me of when I said about the difference between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark is trying to be the best basketball player that she can be, and she's not trying to be an influencer. She's on the basketball, working on her game. She's constantly trying to get better. And Angel Reese, as great as she is, and I don't know if she's not in the not. I'm sure she's in the gym and things of that nature, but she's about that bag. She's about running up that money, getting multiple brand deals and things of that nature. Her brand is becoming bigger than basketball, even though we know her from the game of basketball, and that should be the most important aspect right now in your young career. But if you're a GM, you're head coach, which player, which team, which organization would you want to go to? An organization where their best player is locked in the gym and focused on the game of basketball, or an organization where their best player is focused on the game of basketball and other things for us, like her podcast, her brand deals, being an influencer, being a model, and things of that nature. So it seems like Stephanie White kind of agreed with that sentiment of going with the player who is focused on the game of basketball, which is why I also said that due to Angel Reese being who she is and her brand becoming bigger than basketball, in a sense, I can see that Angel Reese probably won't be in the league in 6 to 7 years, because her money coming outside of basketball and her notoriety is going to be bigger than the game of basketball. And I do not know if her game is going to develop due to the fact that it doesn't seem like her focus is 100% on basketball compared to Caitlin Clark. And one player is playing for different things. Caitlin Clark is playing to become a top 5 basketball player of all time. That is her potential. That is like what she has to be, or probably a lot of people will say she wasn't a great player, even though she is a hell of a player, but like that is her type of potential, what like the pressure that she has. Angel Reese doesn't have that same type of pressure. So Caitlin Clark can't afford to have a sophomore slump. Angel Reese, if she averages and does the same thing she did in her rookie season, people aren't going to really say as much compared to what they're going to say to Caitlin Clark. So that's here nor there. But Stephanie White and coming to the Indiana Fever, she's going to make this team better defensively. I think that's also she's going to make Caitlin Clark better when we talk about. I think she's going to allow Caitlin Clark to grow more as a leader, like balancing that, playing with passion and aggression and mama mentality, but also knowing how to keep your cool and keep yourself in check as well. I think she's going to help Caitlin really tap into those things and find that balance. And also, I believe that she's going to be a great fit for Caitlin Clark because she knows what it's like to be the top dog in Purdue University, winning a WNBA championship, coaching. Like she has clout, she has respect, she has rank when we talk about her 20 years of coaching experience. And sometimes when you're an alpha dog and when you've been the best player in high school, college, and a first team all WNBA player in your rookie season and finish top four in MVP voting, you need somebody who's in a position that can tell you about yourself and that you're going to respect. And I feel like Caitlin Clark is going to respect Stephanie White and listen to Stephanie White a little bit more than she did with Christine Sides. So that's just my opinion on it. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great, great, great upcoming season. I think she's going to do very, very well. I'm interested to see once again, though, because who are some of the players that they're going to get to pay along to make up this team, I would say, because there's a lot of free agents and a lot of potential trade moves that the Indiana Fever could do. Satu wants to be in Indiana. That she's been liking social media comments. She's been talking on social media, doing all these little things. It seems like she wants to be a part of the Indiana Fever culture. And I will say about Stephanie White that her having success with the Connecticut Suns and having a lot of great players is also going to benefit the Indiana Fever if they go along with signing another great player like Satu to come on and play with Caitlin Clark and the crew. Because we know in the game of basketball, the more talent you have, the higher your chances of winning a WNBA championship. The more talent you have in the NBA, the higher your chances of winning an NBA championship. But it's also about finding the right pieces and finding those stars that can also fit into roles. We have Caitlin Clark, we have Kelsey Mitchell, the most dynamic backcourt in the WNBA. You have Aaliyah Boston, who is playing that third option role and really took a sacrifice. Now, if you get Satu to come and play and be this fourth option or third or fourth option to switch between Aaliyah Boston and her, now you have a head coach in Stephanie White that's used to having great talent, i.e., being a head coach for the Connecticut Sun, and having all those pieces fit and work collectively together. She brings that experience on, and that's going to allow the Indiana Fever to really, really have a chance to win a WNBA championship. And there's a lot of pressure on Stephanie White because the three previous times that franchises drafted consecutively number one overall picks was Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm twice. Each of those two teams won titles in a span of 4 years. What this hiring indicates is that the Fever are positioning themselves to do what the Las Vegas Aces and the Seattle Storm did. So it's a lot of pressure for Stephanie White, and I believe she's going to get the job done. And I believe she's going to also get another big fish to pair with Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and also Aaliyah Boston. And she's going to make it work because she has to make it work or it's going to be a failure because it's the next 4 years is championship or bust for Caitlin Clark and the crew. And when you have a rookie that won Rookie of the Year, top 4 MVP finish, first team All WNBA, that shows that like, yo, we're not waiting. We locking in now. So make sure you go like, comment, and subscribe. I'm about to get out of here, y'all. I really appreciate y'all for tapping in with me. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Mike K. Smith. I'm gone, man. Peace.